Welcome back to Pale Horse Outdoors. So the rains are finally back here in Washington State, and they're going to be here for a while. Now what that means for me is I'm going to have to do a few more projects out here in the shop. So today, let's tackle the 100-hour maintenance on my B2601. Let's get started. The first item on the checklist is checking the engine start system. To test the switch for the PTO clutch lever, shift the PTO clutch lever to the on position. Turn the key to the start position. The engine must not crank. To test the switch for the speed control pedal, press the speed control pedal. Turn the key to the start position. The engine must not crank. To test the switches for the operator seat and the PTO clutch lever, sit on the operator seat, start the engine, engage the PTO clutch lever, stand up, but don't get off. The engine must shut down after approximately 1 second. If it does not stop, consult your dealer for service. The next item on the checklist is lubricating grease fittings. The points to be greased are the brake pedal, the top link, the right lift rod, and the battery terminals. The brake pedal doesn't take much grease, so I stop when I see it coming out of the casing. I give the top link and the right lift rod about 6 to 8 pumps of grease, or until I feel some resistance. Apply a thin layer of grease to the battery terminals. If you've been operating in really wet or muddy conditions, you might want to grease these more often. Checking the wheel bolt torque sounds difficult, but it's not. But you do need the right tool. So I picked up this 10 to 150 pound torque wrench, and I also picked up a set of extensions, 5-inch and 10-inch. You'll need a 5-inch for the front and a 10-inch extension for the back. The front wheel lugs need around 58 to 68 foot-pounds of torque. I've set my torque wrench to 67 foot-pounds. Also, I'm using the 5-inch extension. The rear wheel lugs need around 107 to 111 foot-pounds of torque. I've set my torque wrench to 110 foot-pounds. I'm using the 10-inch extension here. Next is the battery condition. This battery has an indicator on top that is color-coded. Green is good, black indicates that it needs charging, and if white, the battery needs replacing. It's not easy to see here, but mine is green, so we're good. Next is cleaning the air filter primary element. Remove the cover and take out the large primary element. If the dust is dry, blow compressed air from inside, turning the element. The pressure of the compressed air must be under 30 psi. I also make sure the evacuator valve is clear of debris. Up next is cleaning the fuel filter. Before checking, make sure the fuel tank is less than half full. If not, the fuel will flow back from the fuel return pipe to the fuel filter. This engine does not have a separate fuel shutoff valve. After loosening the bowl a certain amount, the fuel will shut off automatically. Loosen and remove the filter bowl so you can rinse the inside with kerosene. Make sure you have a bucket or something handy to catch the fuel spill. Take out the filter element and dip it into the kerosene to rinse. After cleaning, reassemble the fuel filter, keeping out dust and dirt, and reattach it to the mount. Make sure to put the O-rings back in place. Mine was missing the small O-ring, so I'll have to replace it soon, but for now, let's just move on. Lastly, bleed the air from the fuel system. According to the manual, the bleeding procedure is to fill the fuel tank with fuel and then start the engine and run it for about 30 seconds and then stop the engine. After 5 to 10 seconds, the air that was introduced into the fuel system should make your engine sputter. Give it a moment and the engine should recover on its own. This step isn't in the manual, but I decided to check for leaks at different RPM settings. The next step according to the checklist is adjusting the fan belt tension. To check the tension, apply moderate thumb pressure to the belt between the pulleys. A deflection of between 7 to 9 millimeters is normal and doesn't require an adjustment. Next is adjusting the brake pedal. Depress the brake pedal and measure free travel at the top of the pedal stroke. Proper free travel of the pedal is 30 to 40 millimeters. Checking the fuel line is the last step on the checklist. Normally I wouldn't go in this order. I've already checked the fuel filter, so I would do this step at that time, but I'm going down the checklist, so I'll include it here. Check to see that all lines and hose clamps are tight and not damaged. If hoses and clamps are found to be worn or damaged, replace or repair them as soon as possible. If the fuel line is removed, be sure to properly bleed the fuel system. So like I said before, I wouldn't normally go in that order because you can group those steps together a lot better than that. Oh, and one more thing. We've got stickers now, and if you want to win one, you need to comment on this video. I'll announce the winner on the next video, and maybe even sooner than that on my Facebook page. So if you're not a member there, go ahead and join today. Anyway, thank you so much for joining. I'm having a great time and I hope you are too, and I'll see you on the next one. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to be notified when I release new videos, please hit the subscribe button and click the bell. There is no cost to subscribe. It is totally free and you can help my channel grow. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you on the next one.